This episode of Capes and Lunatics is brought to you by Tweaked Audio. Get awesome headphones, go to tweakedaudio.com and use the coupon code Southgate to get 30% off, free shipping, and a lifetime warranty. Or you can get there through the link on our website, southgatemediagroup.com.
This is Luca Perich, and you're listening to the Capes and Lunatics podcast.
Recording has started.
Hello and welcome once again to Super Connectivity. I'm your host, Charlie Esser. With me, as always, is the bashful blue-eyed bomber from the Burger Pit,
Phil Perich.
That's he's playing with me because we were having sound trouble.
No.
So he's like,
I think you froze for a second.
No.
So
yeah.
Well,
Sure, I froze. A little head stage break. So, Philip, let's talk.
okay.
Let's talk Obi-Wan Kenobi, because it got cut from.
And
6
now it's
episodes
on
down
some
to
kind of
4.
hold or something.
I don't know quite what
think
the
it's
hold is. I just know that it's been.
They
it's
took it
been
down to
cut-
4, and then I
yeah.
think is it something about the writing? I don't know if they wanted to change something or.
Yeah. Well, you know what it is, and here's the truth of it. When they started writing this thing, I don't think, because we know how tight-lipped Disney is
Mhm.
with all of its big reveals. So I think that the staff had started working on it without realizing how central the theme of moisture farming was going to be to the overall arc
Mhm.
of the Skywalker saga. And so they realized, like, you're going way off of moisture farming in this, man. This is about the simple, humble joys of moisture farming and why Luke should have stayed on Uncle Owen's farm and become a successful moisture farmer. Maybe got a nice little hot wife, lived a good
Yes.
life on Tatooine. Said he loses his hand, goes to a temple, never kisses a girl except his sister. It's not a good life. But think of the joys of being a moisture farmer, living off the sand, bringing moisture to all the people of Tatooine, so that all people, Hutts, Tusken Raiders, whatever Greedos people are called, can all feel moist. That was what the series is about. That it's not about being a cosmic
You know what I was?
space wizard.
Well, that's what I
being a
always
humble
wondered. It's like
moisture
if those droids hadn't shown up with that message, would Obi-Wan have just let Luke be a moisture farmer his whole life?
Exactly. That was the plan. And then these freaking droids show up. This is why we wipe your memory, C-3PO. This is why you're not supposed
R2's
to
the one
be
actually played
here
the
today.
message.
I know, R2. See,
Yeah, they're like, oh, this
should've
droid can't
wiped
talk.
R2's
What's the
memory
worst
too.
that could happen?
He can't
Well, I
talk.
mean,
Everyone
C-3PO can understand him.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
theoretically, Luke does too, you know?
But yeah. Droids.
I'm
Yes.
just saying, it just seems that, yeah, I think that's actually what you're supposed to get at the end of this thing. And they're like, no, why are you putting all these lightsaber duels in this? That's not what Star Wars is about. It's about reclaiming the Earth and being, or Tatooine, and being a moisture farmer. There's going to be an episode where they're going to go to that mirror universe where, like, Anakin just told Obi-Wan, no, can you take me back to my mom and just buy her freedom? And me and her can just live on Tatooine and not have to get involved in your crazy space war. And you can go be a space wizard off in your thing, but I want to go home and see my mom because I miss her. And then he goes home, and then he gets to be big brother Annie and little brother Owen, and they build their moisture farm. You know, maybe there's a little competition with Aunt Peru. You know, she winds up with Owen because those two were meant to be. But I think Anakin finds his own love. Maybe Padme comes back and says, "You know what? I'm tired of being a queen. I want to farm some moisture too. I do a little Green Acres theme there where it's like,
right. How many lives could you save?
How
much damage could you undo just by keeping Annie on the farm?
Exactly. And then you think about it, and like now Palpatine doesn't have an apprentice. Not even Jar Jar goes back because Jar Jar, I'm going back to.
Seriously, Palpatine never would have defeated Sam Jackson if Anakin hadn't been there.
Exactly, and so it's like that. Palpatine, now I will do you, and he's like, melon farmer, please, and moisture farmer, please, and just purple lightsabers and out the window. It's like, good thing the Sith aren't a problem, huh? Who thought the senator was a Sith? Who knew? But that's the thing. It's like if Anakin had stayed in the farm, if Luke had stayed in the farm, the Empire would have collapsed under its own weight. And that's the thing. Like they say, oh, the exhaust port's a meter wide. Well, yeah, that's actually pretty big. That's like a little more than a yard. That's a pretty big target when you're flying right up to it with guided missiles. We can hit a Womp Rat with a guided missile right now. It's actually relatively easy for us to do. So, I think the Empire would have fallen, and we wouldn't have a bunch of space wizards running around trying to tell people what to do. Because, I think that's the story of the Skywalkers. It's like, no. Space wizarding's for party tricks. It's like, hey, look, these aren't the droids you're looking for. Maybe they are, and that's the fun of the Force. You don't have to be moving galaxies for this stuff, man. Oh, yeah. So they cut it back to 4 episodes, which I forget who's that. It's not Liam Neeson. Who's
no, Ewan McGregor.
Ian McKellen is our Obi-Wan. Oh, Ewan McGregor. I don't know. It's one of those mixed people. One of those Irishmen.
They might
Irish actors.
They might just cut season 1 down to 4. If it gets to season 2, I'm sure they could always do more.
Yeah, well, we'll see what happens. There was talk about, would they bring in Jar Jar? Would they bring in Darth Maul? Jar Jar would be great because it's like, Misa thinks you should just let him be a moisture farmer. Like, no, he's the son of the chosen one. He's got to do. Like, Misa thinks you're wrong, and maybe you should let him be a moisture farmer.
Then we get that Jar Jar death scene because he doesn't show up in any movie after 3.
Well, we know in the books that he winds up back on Naboo, basically entertaining refugee children. That's his gig, He's the clown that laughs, or the clown that cries. And he, again, a person who goes from the turmoil of this galactic nonsense and finds simple joy in the theater. And like maybe that's what it's about. Maybe we should go back and just be moisture farmers. That's why it was all the thing about grain trade and all this stuff in that first trilogy, because this is what George was trying to tell us, man. George knew, like, all this call to adventure. Are you kidding me? Get called to adventure? Tell him I'm not home.
Trade negotiations and moisture farming. That's what brings the kids in.
Well, it's not about bringing the kids in. It's about teaching them a valuable lesson. He doesn't need to bring the kids in. They're going to come. If I make a movie, they will come, Because it's like, oh, goodness. Rise of the Skywalker only made $3 billion. It's like, really? Oh, what a
we can put anything in these movies. Just give the kids the flashy swords and they'll be fine.
Well, it's not even about giving the kids the flashy swords. Again, it's a decent movie.
No, I was talking basically more like the prequels. Farm. It's like, trade routes, more,
Well, and those were decent movies. This is horribly offensive. That they implied that there was a political system, and
I don't hate those movies as much as some people do now.
It's like, Yeah, well, it's like I say, it's like I can't hate them. I can't hate them that much because there's nothing that bad in them. It's not like it's I'm sure that I'm sure the Rift Tracks guys can make jokes about it, but even then, it's like they make jokes about the first Avenger, which is a fantastic movie. So exactly, that's what those guys do. They just make snide comments about film. So it's like and sometimes it's funny and sometimes it's fun to watch a movie and like that is kind of silly what they do there. But at the same time, it's like yeah, it got cut back a bit. And also, and again, what I've said from the start is that they really, I think with the Star Wars franchise, they're like, let's not do Picard. Let's not just do some kind of story that is what everybody, that is just nostalgia, just the characters just the stories we've already retread. Let's tell new stories in this universe. And so I think what they want to do is they maybe want to tell some new stories and I think they want to tell a couple new stories with Obi-Wan, but it's like, do we need 6? Because here's, spoiler alert, he never dies, Luke's okay, and they don't talk for 20 years.
I would rather have a strong 4 than having to drag it a little bit to get the 6. Yeah.
Yeah. Like I said, I hope they don't undercut Owen as a character. I really hope there are some really good early interactions between Owen and Obi-Wan, where Owen's like, dude, you want him to be a space wizard? Exactly. How's that working out for you? You're the last freaking space wizard in the universe.
Yoda too, but it's like, you got, there's 2 of you left and you're both in exile. Oh, well,
Owen doesn't know that. I mean, there's actually probably 6 or 7 who's always, I thought I was the last Jedi. I actually thought it would be really good to have an episode called The Last Jedi, where you actually meet somebody who is force sensitive, but he's just like a stage magician. And he's like, he builds himself as the last Jedi.
Well, that was my problem with Yoda. It's like at the end of 3, he's like, go into exile, I must. And then it's like, besides training Luke, he doesn't do anything. Did he ever have a plan to come back, or was he just going to run and hide for the rest of his life?
He was going to go, he was farming moisture on Dagobah, which is like, okay, first off, in the universe to farm moisture. Just going to say that.
Eating some
maybe he was farming dryness. I don't know. I'm farming dryness. We'll have dryness that we can export.
Hey, he was eating frogs. I mean, hell, on a swamp planet. I mean, that would be like us going to it's a planet full of steak.
Yeah, well, I mean, for what it's worth, I mean, I would imagine, and again, the importance of moisture is like, well, wherever I got to go, better be moist, because we all know how central moisture is to us carbon-based life forms. So I better go someplace. I'll go to Dagobah.
And no good plots of land for Walker, AT-ATs and all that stuff.
Oh yeah, no, it'd be very hard to get any kind of, and I think that might have been part of his theory. It's like I'll go to the most miserable spot in the universe, which is the old joke. You go to the most miserable spot in the universe,
exactly.
And they're not.
I mean, Luke lands 2 seconds later. That fighter's in.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, the stormtroopers were, and for what it's worth, Yoda has stealth bonus. He's got +3 on all his stealth rolls. So, I mean, it is literally impossible for him to botch to have a failure on a stealth roll if he has a +3. Because it's like, no, actually, that's technically a 3. That's technically a 4. I cannot get lower than a 4 on my stealth roll. So, yeah. But that's, yeah, and like you said, I would rather have a solid 4 than 6 that are kind of spinning their wheels. And I think this is there's maybe something here that we need to. So here's the thing, because also this is coming on the heels of the fact that, first off, Tiger Dazzler
and Howard the Duck,
which,
sorry,
I was going to get to that, Philip. It's called building a story, because it starts with one and then it goes to another. Well, no, because it's 2 different things. So when Tiger Dazzler gets cut, and they say it's because of creative differences. we all immediately thought, well, I thought they got a little too Harley Ivy for people's taste. It's Disney Plus, remember, not Disney Times.
Okay.
Times is an X. So. Yes. It's not Disney After Dark. It's not the 21 Club. But yeah, I get the feeling that there was this idea that that we thought that must have been the creative differences. As it turns out, I think the creative difference might have been like, you know what? I just don't think that you're up to Disney Plus standards, and it's a lot of money to spend to have filler content, and we don't really need filler content because people are watching Bedknobs and Broomsticks. People are watching Black Hole. People are watching 1,090.
Do you think maybe
Disney
these series were a little too adult for the brand they wanted to build over at Disney Plus?
I mean, Howard the Duck. That's definitely possible, especially if you're putting freaking
Kevin Smith.
You know, what's his name? Kevin Smith in charge. Yeah, and that could be the thing. It's like, we want to do Howard the Duck. We don't want to do, we want to do Howard the Duck, not Fritz the Cat. It's like that. There's a difference, and for what it's worth, there's a difference even in the comics. For whatever you want to say about Howard the Duck, he never really goes dirty or filthy. It's like even the Max titles at Marvel were always a little, these weren't Alan Moore writing these books. There's keep the pedophile to your own books, Alan. Not gonna let that guy watch my kid. That's all I'm saying. But yeah, I get the feeling maybe it was people getting a little too adult, and they're like, that's not where we're not gonna do that with Howard the Duck here. First off, when we're gonna do that stuff, it's gonna be around our Deadpool brand, which we've already got established. And more to the point, what we are getting is we're getting Patton Oswalt as MODOK, which I think is going to thread that needle of adult humor within the context of a show that is still about finding yourself.
Yeah, but do you think, with that, you don't think the writing's on the wall for MODOK, though? Now that Tiger, Dazzler, and Howard the Duck have been canceled?
No, actually, I think MODOK is in the safest place because, first off, it's already cast. We have the entire cast from Monica Rappaccini to MODOK himself being played by Patton Oswalt. So that one is moving forward full stream ahead, and there's nothing about it except for and it actually seems like they're going to be doing MODOK as Fred Flintstone. MODOK as he's like estranged from his family. He's estranged from his supervillain organization and trying to figure out how to be a better MODOK, which makes me wonder if we're going to get a Gwenpool in that. Because I get the feeling that they're like looking for a way to brand these things in a way that's going to be, like DuckTales. DuckTales has always been a fun film, a fun show to watch if you're an adult, because there's intellectual adult humor. There's fun literary references. Not all adult humor is, oh, look, boobs. Boobs is not actually adult humor. It's actually teenager humor. As an adult, I do like teenager humor, don't get me wrong. But I get the feeling sometimes people want to confuse
you think maybe that was the problem with Kevin Smith?
Humor. Yeah. I think that's definitely, and I think that was a problem with Tiger, and who's left? We have Hitmonkey, which is just the weirdest thing to still be left. And I almost feel like Hitmonkey's just there because.
And do you think maybe like Tiger and Dazzler and even Howard the Duck? Because we've seen Howard the Duck in an end credit scene. Like all those characters may appear live action at some point. MODOK, I don't think they're doing.
Well, yeah, Howard the Duck is definitely someone that they're working on live action. He even shows up in the freaking battle against Thanos for no reason. Like literally no reason. Except that he happened to be like at the bar that Drax was at when he got. Well, no, because Drax wasn't at a bar when he got sent. I don't literally no reason, unless he made it. Again, no reason.
What was that? The first Guardians of the Galaxy? Wasn't he in the collector's?
Yeah, but by then he's already out.
Well, he didn't have a ship to get off. Maybe he couldn't find a ship to get off the planet.
Well, no. I mean, no. He's off. Oh, sorry. He's off the planet. Bit my tongue. He's because the last time we see Howard is in Guardians 3, right? Guardians 3.
There hasn't been
or Guardians 2. We're only at Guardians 2. I don't know how many Guardians we had, but he's in the last Guardians film again.
Oh, okay.
Because he's in the bar where all the Ravagers are. And I don't know if any of the other Ravagers. Did they bring the Ravagers in that? Oh,
Remember Stallone?
That's how he got there. He was with the Ravagers. No, at the end of Endgame. At the end of Endgame, Howard the Duck is in Endgame.
Okay.
Look it up. It's online. He's in when everyone's running out of the portals. One of the beings running out of that portal is Howard the Duck. Yes, you couldn't do Luke Cage, but let's make sure Howard the Duck gets in there. So, granted, you couldn't do Luke Cage because of legal reasons.
None of them. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's ridiculous. Well, we would have had to explain exactly.
But the other thing with like Howard the Duck and the Dazzler Tiger, I'm trying to remember, when did they first announce those? Was that under Loeb, maybe?
Yeah. So maybe they are cleaning some Loeb house. I mean, Loeb was still in charge of stuff.
That's what I'm saying. So I was pretty sure they announced it under Loeb. So maybe they were like, more housekeeping, and then plus it was Kevin Smith. So that's fine.
Yeah, but it also means that we aren't going to get no Offenders. But then again, it was called The Offenders. Do you really think Disney wants to do The Offenders?
Exactly.
Maybe Hulu.
Yeah,
but again,
we're not DC Universe. We're not DC Universe.
They're their own thing. They've got Brendan Fraser.
Plus, again, if you're going to do Offenders, I think they're going to start with like Deadpool or something. I mean, they got the movie.
Well, and I think that might, and for what it's worth, that might even be where they're going. And maybe that is what they're building out to, because maybe they are going to say, let's put in Gwenpool in MODOK, and let's have her make a bunch of references to the MCU. I think, hey, is Deadpool going to show up? Because he's part of the.
Because I think they were talking about doing a Deadpool animated thing on FX or something. But this is before the deal went through. So, and then it didn't go through. I wonder if that was part of it. They were like, oh yeah, hey, the deal might be coming through. Disney might be like, no, hold off. We'll do that once we get everything out.
But I do wonder because as we said, what's left standing is MODOK and Hitmonkey, and Hitmonkey is going to be a mostly silent series. So it's going to be a lot of slapstick violence.
He has like supporting cast who can talk.
Well, yeah, but what's going to sell it is the silent monkey, because he's the monkey. Yeah,
you could even.
That's what's cool about Hitmonkey. He's a monkey.
You could even do like a Pet Avengers over there or something. Lockjaw.
Oh, we so want that. If anyone, the one redeemable character in the Inhumans, yes. Lockjaw and Ms. Marvel is like, where are you from, boy? Oh, you can't talk and can never, ever tell me where you came from, can you, little
See him
boy?
wearing a sign around his collar. Okay. It wasn't my fault.
Don't ask. Oh, but that reminds me.
Yes!
So, John Walker.
They put up pictures.
Man.
Hey, in the comics, man. First, he was Super Patriot. Then he took over for Steve Rogers. He wore the Captain America suit.
I know, but here's what I'm going to tell you. When the first shot they have of him with his little army uniform with the brace on, he's doing this.
Yes,
he's being this nice guy. I get the feeling he's a Captain America super fan. I think they are going to be merging the D-Man into the John Walker character. And for what it's worth, here's my big prediction. They're gonna do D-Man, John Walker, and William Burnside's kind of
Maybe.
mushed into one character here. And it's going to be that idea of, I'm a nice guy and I get this power boost, and it's a little bit based on some Mr. Hyde stuff he had laying around.
In the comics, he was a little arrogant, but he started out kind of as a sort of a nice guy. I mean, he wanted to be the next Captain America. He was basically like, oh, Steve Rogers, you're kind of old-fashioned. I'm going to be the new Captain America, which he eventually gets to be. But then once his parents get killed, that's when he goes off the deep end and starts getting ultra violent.
Yeah, but I get the feeling that they're going to try and do that idea of the degrading, the mental degradation aspect of the super soldier serum. And they might even bring up, remember the Patriot, where this is a variation of what we were using with the Patriot. So this is a mix of what we used on the Patriot, which was actually Hyde formula, plus some super soldier serum, plus a little bit of old Moxie Cola we had laying around from the
and again, it's like, like we were talking on Capes and Lunatics 141, scroll down, again, modern superheroes, someone has to lose parents. I mean, you paint them, you give him his own Ma and Pa Kent, make people care about them, and then it's just like gun him down, super, bad serum plus death of parents. Yeah, he's going to get,
Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, exactly how they go with it, I don't know, but I think he's going to be coming off really as this guy who wants to be a good Captain America, wants to be Steve Rogers, and maybe he meets a tragedy, or maybe it's the formula, or maybe it's any number of things, especially if there's like, oh, didn't we tell you if you don't get your daily dose, they'll do the power broker line, where if you don't get your daily doses, you're going to start to go through withdrawal. And when you start to go through withdrawal, you're going to start, having seizures and you could die. So why don't you go gather up some mutants for us now? And in fact, that's like where you might get the mutants introduced. Where it's like, we're going to get the mutant resist. We're going to get the old, I forget what they called themselves, but the original mutant resistance group. They're actually a bunch of old X-Men villains, Peeper and Lifter and Shot, and I think he was called Shocker, and just all these guys who are mutants who are like, no, we're not going to have a mutant registration act, cannon fodder. Yeah, but I do think it's an interesting. I think they're going to be doing a lot with John Walker in this, and I think it's going to be not the John Walker we're used to. I think it's going to be a much more, even a Reb Brownie-ish Captain America. If you all remember Reb Brown, maybe kind of a surfer dude.
And I wonder if after this first season, if they're going to skip a couple steps and he's just going to join Zemo's Thunderbolts.
Well, Zemo's an interesting character because, again, there's the talk about, oh, that's Cap's shield. Now, originally I said that's not Cap's shield because because the circles are white. But other pictures, you do see a little bit more silver to it. But I do not think it is Cap's shield. I do think that is a shield made of leftover Ultron parts. Because there was a lot of leftover Ultron parts scattered all over freaking Sokovia. Where who's from? Zemo.
And again, in this universe, it's not as hard as like in the comics to make one of those shields. All you need is some vibranium.
Exactly. It's not even like, fancy stuff. Although maybe they are going to actually, it's not pure. The actual Cap shield isn't pure vibranium. It's actually a specialized vibranium. Yeah, it's this new thing they call adamantium.
We got some from a top secret project in Canada.
What's his name? McFarlane? Mickey D. I don't know.
Inventor of adamantium. Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah. I mean, he appears in Avengers. I don't think it's Canadian when they first created it. But then they imply that actually there was this other. CBR did a great little bit about that recently, where they're saying, "Well, here's where it's invented, and here's how it got retconned into being in Wolverine." Because well, actually, this guy was working during World War II, and he created it then, and then he recreated other versions of it. And so you have like secondary adamantium and tertiary adamantium. None of it as good as Cap shield. So, and even that got cut up by Thanos. So, you know.
I mean,
so
that
what
thing
good is it? I
was
don't know.
altering reality, though. I mean, if it could destroy half the life in the universe, I mean, come on, it could.
Well, that was no. He didn't have the. It wasn't the gun. It was
yeah,
his sword.
Yeah,
his helicopter blade. You know, because they had to have the Thanos copter in there somewhere. Yeah, exactly. I mean, well, they made Pym particles, so I guess they could probably make adamantium. It's like, dude, we can like manipulate things on the molecular level in the far flung like past of science galaxies.
Oh wait, Dr. MacLean, MAC.
Yeah, Dr. McLean.
Proto adamantium. And he's never able to replicate it, but does create true adamantium in the process. However,
he creates a lot of other stuff. He's
it was some accident too. It's like he didn't mean to do it, or yes,
he fell asleep. Literally, he fell asleep. They basically did the vulcanized rubber story.
Yes,
what about adamantium? Where it's like, oh fudge, where he said he was asleep, but actually he was drunk and he knocked something in. He doesn't know what he knocked in. That was always the plot of a lot of. They even had that on Wonder Woman once, where the guy who played Radar was cleaning a lab, and suddenly because of the chemicals he sprayed to clean up in the lab, it like reacted with a thing that created a bomb. So
I did see a repeat of MASH one time, and I swear Radar is reading a copy of Avengers. I'm like, wait a minute, isn't this supposed to be the Korean War in the 50s? How does he have an Avengers issue?
Yeah. It was the 1950s Avengers. It was the Agents of Atlas. It's from an alternate universe where the Avengers were formed in the 50s. And that's
I don't know. I swear I saw Goliath or somebody on that cover. I don't know.
Yeah. No, there's a lot of things like that. Because they didn't know a lot of comic book nerds were going to be watching the show. They were like, no, we're just making a show. So go to the store and get some comic books for Radar to read because we want to show that he's an innocent young person who shouldn't be in a place of war because it's too scary for a young kid. Meanwhile, he's like in his 30s when he's making the show. He just has a baby face, but
exactly
like me.
That's why you got to grow a beard.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm excited. I mean, I am very excited for MODOK. I'm very excited for Captain America.
I know. I can't wait for that.
And Bucky, the series. And very interested in WandaVision because the writer is now the writer on Captain Marvel 2, Electric Boogaloo. And which is important because obviously that's a gig this person wanted because they put Monica Rambeau into WandaVision. Which again shows that Marvel's thinking this stuff like a few steps ahead. So they're like, okay, we want you to do a show. We want you to put in Monica Rambeau. You've introduced her. What do you do with this story? We like what you did with that story. We want you to do this other story.
Or it's like, hey, this writer's developing this character, so hey, let's have this writer follow the character.
Yeah, well, exactly, and I do think, and that's going to be to me that what's going to be. Here's the thing about Captain Marvel, because I went back and watched the old Superhero Squad recently, because you can watch it on Disney Plus, and it is as fun and enjoyable as it was when it first came out. But I noticed that Ms. Marvel, because she was still Ms. Marvel then, was really a hard character to like. She's super capable, but she's super knows she's capable and yells at people a lot and doesn't like to listen to people. And you compare that to a character like Cap, who is just totally, just this really nice guy who people respect. And sometimes he's wrong, but at least he's nice about it, He doesn't always assume he's right, even though he does tell people,
hey, he's literally Mr. Rogers.
Yeah. Now, Tony Stark, on the other hand, is also a big jerk. Now, and he gets away with it because he's charming. But again, I think there's a quality of that where if you're charming, people let you be a jerk. But it is something I know, and I think maybe what they're trying to say is, maybe we shouldn't be leaning into that curve with Captain Marvel. Maybe we shouldn't have her be a unapologetic jerk to people like Tony Stark. Maybe we should actually make her be a person who is wise and circumspect in her thought processes. And I think that's where they want to build her more towards. Because I do think, and again, within the context of that first Captain Marvel movie, there's a lot going on with her. Amnesia and brainwashing and all this kind of stuff. Noble warrior heroes kind of smashed into her head. A lot of Four Lights kind of stuff. And so I can forgive her for that, and I think they made her better in Endgame. And I think that this is about the evolution of the character. And so I do think WandaVision is that character that is developing in WandaVision with Monica Rambeau when she interacts with Carol in Captain Marvel 2, Electric Boogaloo 2 is going to be a better film. That's my prediction. I'm hoping for it. Okay.
Yes.
Want to talk some comic books? Okay. One comic book we didn't get to yesterday at the other show. Those are my alternate comics that I did read, which is Fantastic Four number something that I can't find. There it is. Nope, that's Old Man Quill. That's Gods and Gears. Where's my
Fantastic Four?
Fantastic Four. Okay, yeah, Fantastic Four 18. Oh, I like the book. I can't find it now, but I like it. It fell on the floor somewhere. Maybe that's it. But anyway, nope, that's Conan. 2099. Oh, I gotta organize my comic books, Philip. Yeah, I mean, I like the book. You find out that actually, as Reed realized, you were the one that sent the wave at us, and you amplified it. You really screwed us over, and it's like, and I like Sue calling me out. It's like, yeah, I get it. You figured it out, but did you think about how that's going to affect everything else around us right now? You realize how that's going to cause. Basically, you realize you're violating the Prime Directive here, Reed.
And you basically said, Ben, kill this guy.
Yeah. Well, exactly. It's like, you really think that, how do you think Ben's going to react when he hears that, oh, he's a monster because this dude turned him into a monster? And then we actually find out that, which is interesting with the whole monster aspect of it, is like, was this guy intentionally turning people into monsters, or was it just when a random monster was created, he said to this guy, look, I need you to be the monster.
Well, yeah, isn't that what they said? It's like that the head monster was in on it with him.
Well, yeah, but we don't know if that was his plan when he turned into a monster, or if he turned him into a monster for that purpose. So we don't know how far along the line he was in on it. So it's like, and here's the thing, he might have intentionally turned him into a monster and then told him, look, I want to work with you. You're still my friend. I want you to help us out with this because we need to train, but if he could have controlled how these cosmic rays would react, was that intentional or was that unintentional? Like, did it that, oh, now I have a monster. Oh, I know what I'll do with a monster. Or was it like, I'll make a monster and that's going to be part of my plan? We don't know. But we might find it out in next episode, because apparently Reed gets mad next episode. Everybody's getting mad in all this. And there's a great bit about the soulmates in this, which I really like, with Johnny and the girl, Sky, which is like, look, dude, it's, the soulmate isn't the person that you meet and fall in love with. It's the person that is there with you the whole time. That's the person.
Well, yeah, because Johnny's like my soulmate, and he's like, oh, the girl you just met.
Classic Johnny Storm.
Again, this storyline just smacked of Inhumans to me. The outsiders and Johnny falls for the girl.
Yeah, well, they like to rhyme. It's the hits. And that's the thing, is like, it's not like you can say that's not a good story, and I don't think this is a bad story. But I do
Very
think
similar.
that it's like, well, it's not very similar. The Inhumans
no. I'm
didn't
just
turn the
saying there are.
Fantastic Four into monsters. No. Although they did have their was it Ultra Humanites or whatever they called those?
Alpha primates
the
or
prime
alpha primitives or something. Yeah.
Alpha primate.
Yes.
Yeah. Their slave race, Philip. They did have their slave race that suddenly got upset about being slaves. Gee, wonder why. Why is Maximus the bad guy when he just wants to free these slaves? It's like, but of course he wanted to free the slaves, but not because he wanted to free the slaves, but because they were useful cannon fodder. That's the crux of the biscuit. Anyway, but that was Fantastic Four. I mean, we'll see where it goes next. Obviously, they've completely decimated this entire culture. Really aren't playing by the Prime Directive rules here, but with their little old school rocket to fly to where they wanted to go. And maybe what you did exactly what he said you would do. You totally destroyed our culture in our city. Yeah, but then again, it's self-fulfilling prophecies. I know that would have happened if this guy hadn't. Yeah, if they had just shown up. But he was like, "Oh no, I can't let them come here because they'll violate our perfect world." It's like, so.
Yes.
Really, he'd already destroyed their world the minute he decided to defend it, quote unquote. So. And that's our moral lesson. The more you know. Just doing a little star with the rainbow there. Got my alternate comics. Finally read those. Came out on a Wednesday. Is always good. Gods and Gears #2. We're building a lot of backstory in Gods and Gears. There's like people have been turned into gorillas. There's magic. We got time travelers. Some kind of crazy race car gods.
Mm-hmm.
I'm enjoying it, but yeah, I mean, it jumps around a lot, and so I'm worried it doesn't have a lot of story cohesion. So
did you forget the other Marvel book this week?
Serpent Crown. Yes, of course. Serpent War. Yeah, it's interesting. Again, Franklin Richards, what are you doing? Because now apparently it's a worm crown that Cull is being given from Lemuria, the Lemurian worm crown.
Or they give the serpent crown a different origin or something. Yeah.
Well, except now the serpent crown. So, and the idea is that they're messing with the time stream. So the serpent crown, which was originally Set, it's now this character, the worm, who is actually like worse than Set. It's like between Mephisto and Satanish. It's like, well, I actually, the Mephisto and Dormammu. It's like, no, I actually need Mephisto to keep Dormammu at bay. You say, no, you leave my humans alone. I'm manipulating these people. These are my babies to manipulate. Yeah, I mean, it's interesting, whatever it is. But what I like about it is what they do with Moon Knight at the end. And where he now has the power of Khonshu within him. And also, for what it's worth, verification that nope, Khonshu,
they
100%
back
real.
in the day they make it ambiguous, but yeah, oh no.
No, totally. Yep, nope. This is a world of gods and monsters, and Khonshu, totally a thing. What I like best about it is like that last, not the last, but like that when he sees the world now, it's the world that when he was like escaping from the mental institution, where it's New York with the sand and the things. It's like now that's reality, and that was reality. That was the problem. Is that when he was in the mental institution, it's because he was seeing what Khonshu wanted him to see.
I mean, do you think? I don't know. It just seems like I don't think Moon Knight's. Well, I mean, he's finally getting a TV series, well, a Disney Plus series. But do you think this is going to play a part in it?
Yeah, I think. Here's my actual prediction. They're tired of the Batman comparisons. They've decided to make Moon Knight Superman.
Well, literally give him a holy mission.
Well, make him Shazam. Make him. Well, he's got glowing eyes. And like I said, remember, Moon Knight used to have class 100 strength during a full moon. He was as strong as the Hulk during a full moon. Now he's got a little bit of Khonshu in him the whole time. Meaning that he is always going to have bulletproof skin, class 100 strength. He is going to be Batman, Superman combined. He's going to be Superman.
It's just, I don't know. I think it's just confusing for people because they always retcon him. First he had strength because of a werewolf bite. Then it was, I guess it was Khonshu gave him this strength. And now it's Khonshu again.
Yeah, well, it's, hey, Khonshu has to do what he has to do.
Yes.
Has to work within his limits, That's the thing. It's like you can build it out however you want to build it out. But here's what I'm going to say. It's the new 52. Franklin rebuilt the universe. This is just the way it is now. This is our universe now. We're going to accept it. But I like how they built up the Howard verse. And honestly, I was sitting there, oh wow, man, it's the Howard Avengers, because it really is like the Avengers. It's like, oh, it's a team. And it's like, what if all of these characters that this guy wrote just got together using this conceit of the guy who lives 1,000 lifetimes, and writes the stories. And that is a beautiful concept. And so I don't think we've seen the last of the Serpent War.
Yeah, no, I thought I heard. I thought they said something about maybe another miniseries coming up. Yeah.
Well, I think it sold well. I don't think this was a hard. I think this was one that people really liked. It really brought in, like I said, I do not know how Disney got the entire Howard estate. But I get the feeling that it's a lot like with a lot of when they got Marvel and when they got Jim Henson, was they said, look, we can take care of this property forever for you. If you care about this property, you give it to you sell it to us for a nice sum. We are going to be very respectful of it because look at how respectful we are of everything else we own. Because for what it's worth, they actually have been insanely respectful to Star Wars. Very respectful to superheroes in Marvel Comics. There's not a lot that they have really stepped on. Inhumans was just a mistake. We can all agree to that. That was that was a misstep. That was, those kind of things happen. But in general, we try to be as honest and forthright about intellectual property.
Oh, yes. Here we go. Conan's foray into the Marvel Universe continues this February in Conan Battle for the Serpent Crown.
There we go. I mean, Conan is central to this, and I think I like how they're integrating Moon Knight into the mythos. And that's how they're going to build this out. They want, when Moon Knight drops, it's going to be a really awesome Moon Knight. And how they're going to deal with this evolution of Moon Knight, I don't know. But it wouldn't surprise me if they backdoor Conan into the Moon Knight story.
Oh, Charlie Esser. I guess it's like a 5-issue miniseries, but issue 2, Conan Battle for the Serpent Crown. Guess who guest stars? Black Cat.
Gwenpool? Oh, Black Cat. Oh, we just got to steal it. Got to steal them all. Well, you know what? Black Cat. Oh, that is a couple.
I think it's at least some of this is taking place in Vegas because they're mentioning Mephisto too.
And okay,
Conan Black Cat can get at one of those Vegas weddings.
Conan to start. I want Conan to start wearing pants. Because if you remember when Conan was stuck in the 21st century, the 20th century, the last time, after he got stuck there, he started wearing pants. Because nobody wears a loincloth. That's stupid. Why would I wear a loincloth? First off, they have pants now, and these are fine. These are fine clothes. They're not causing me any trouble, So I want Conan to start wearing pants, and he can still have a sword at his side. Although actually, when it's Conan stuck in the 20th century, he actually carries knives, and he's like, he's basically a knife thrower. And as they say, I love it's this great scene when he escapes from jail after he gets arrested at the top of the Guggenheim Museum because he uses the lightning bolt to send him back. He like breaks out of he snaps the chains because these little chains, they trapped me in. These wouldn't hold a child. He like snaps and then he like runs. He goes to the bars in the window. Says, but luck is with him today. And he pulls the bar out of the window, and they like shoot him in the arm. He's like, I've been struck by the magic weapon. I must run. But then like the judge says, you brought me a supervillain. You brought me a god darn supervillain. And then of course, and that's the whole scene where he goes, he has to clean the wound because a magic wound is the most dangerous, and he pulls it out, and it's like a little slug. He looks just like, that's not a magic weapon. That's a freaking slingshot. They shot me with a slingshot. This is, guess this world isn't so hard to understand after all. And like he's already been to a brothel, and he's been to a bar, and he knows that, okay, I know this world. Eventually he's going to put on a pair of pants. Let Conan wear pants.
Conan sheathed his sword for no one.
I'm just saying. Especially if he wants to interact with this world, although I guess parts of him doesn't really want to, but then, he's going to want to, he's going to get lonely, he's going to get bored. And he also probably, here's the thing, when people say, oh no, you got to wear the loincloth, man, that's your brand. It's like, what the heck are you talking about? I don't have a brand. I'm Conan. That's not a brand. I'm Team Coco. No. Anyway, yeah, so fight for pants for Conan. Pants for Conan. Hashtag pants for Conan. That is my mission in life, to see Conan wear pants. Viral. Look that issue up. It's really a great issue of What If. What if Conan was trapped in the 20th century? Because they did the one where he visits, and then when he's trapped and he sort of has to find his way through life. He doesn't get the advantage of, getting sent to the savage land and, running into a bunch of superheroes right off the bat. Eventually, he just winds up in New York City. He's like, okay, well, this is a city like every other city I've ever seen. There's beggars, there's merchants. Okay, let's form a gang. Let's take over the city. Who's this pink kingpin guy? Okay, he never meets the kingpin. But he does knock over a museum and has to fight Captain America, which is really a great scene. Because he actually stabs Captain America in the arm. It is really awesome when he fights Captain. Because he's like, oh, finally someone on this planet that can actually challenge me. That's my biggest worry with Conan lately, is that they've been making him a little too haughty. I don't like a haughty Conan. I like a Conan that understands how close death is. Although we do get a lot of another good bit of Crom with this, and I love the nice bit between Set and Khonshu at the end, where like Set's like, "You spared me, I wouldn't have spared you." He's like, "Of course you wouldn't. That's not your nature, But there's an order to the universe, and we elder gods have certain responsibilities, and you have to be here because you are the thing that battles the worm." And it's nice. It makes you wonder if Khonshu will eventually get retconned into being an elder god as well, like Gaia, which would be awesome. Which again puts New Moon Knight on that Thor level, because Thor is a god with Gaia. He is the chosen prophet of Khonshu.
Hey, not to switch subjects here, but I'm trying to remember the whole thing with the Red Skull being Del Rusk in the comics. What was Del Rusk's position in the government?
He was actually,
was it defense?
Was he a secretary of something?
Because if you look at that John Walker picture, if you zoom in on that podium behind him, you see the word defense. So I don't know if at the top if it's saying Department of Defense.
Oh, could be. Yeah. Well, here's what, and this is one of the things I was thinking about Del Rusk, If the Red Skull is presumed dead.
Oh, yeah. He hasn't.
Which he would be after World War II. Zemo, he's got those, not Zemo.
Zola?
What's his name? Zola's got those freaking clone bats. He made those Hitler clones. That's how Bucky killed Hitler. Everyone always got mad. Oh, how could they say Bucky killed Hitler? Well, lots of people killed Hitler. He's like, there's like 6 Hitlers in the Marvel universe. So, Oh, that was something I wanted to talk about. I didn't even mention this to you.
Yes.
Iron Man 2020. Big prediction.
Get ready.
Big prediction. That's not Machine Man. That's the hate monger.
Ooh.
His memory tapes got uploaded to Machine Man. And that's why he's being such a jerk. Because, we're the superior beings. We're the robots. We must wipe out the humans. That's why the robots are rebelling. Because the hate monger got uploaded to freaking Stack. Well, his first name. But to Machine Man. Because every other depiction of Machine Man prior to this, he's always kind of like...
Yeah, I mean, the last couple of years they tried to paint him as like a jerk, but I mean, I would love for that, because he's not like classic Machine Man now.
Yeah. Building the whole, and then you have... Because I was thinking, oh man, I wonder if like the Psycho Man's involved in this, because it really seems like people getting really manipulated to act like total idiots. And I was like, oh wait, Psycho Man. Last time I saw the Psycho Man was working with the hate monger back in the 80s. What if it's the hate monger? And I was like, oh yeah, that's right. He's got memory tapes. He's an AI just like Tony Stark. And it also explains why he's accepting Tony Stark into his group. Because like himself, he's memory tapes uploaded onto a machine. And that's what this is all going to be. And mark my words. Machine Man is the hate monger. And he's rounding up all the robots, manipulating them with his hate rays, and manipulating the humans too to cause the war. Because the whole point is you can't seize power unless you have the war. You must sow the hate and get people to act irrationally. Which is why Iron Man's acting irrationally. Because AI isn't new technology. It's like cloning. It's like we had this stuff in the 40s. What are you talking about? We've had artificial sentient beings since the 40s. Maybe there's more of them now, but it's not like these aren't things we've dealt with, and there probably are already laws on the books about them. For God's sakes, Jim Hammond was a cop. Like a sworn-in NYPD officer. Okay? So it's like, we actually have a long precedent of the citizenship of robots. So, moving right along.
I hope so.
That's my big prediction. Anyway, Mighty Mascots was cool. Apparently this is an ongoing. I haven't finished this book yet. I think it's like the first 5 issues of it. But they're getting another run in April because I guess it was a big seller. And the idea is that basically there's a chemical that makes essentially makes cartoon characters come to life, but only like the mascots of cereal companies. And I've only read it so far, and we have the cavity creeps basically, and then they get the crest or the crown force to defeat them. You remember the cavity creeps and the crest kids. But they are all evil and no, you've been tainted by the decay. We must destroy you as well. Bum, bum, bum. So as far as I've gotten it, but it's really exciting. It's a $5 book, but it's it's a freaking trade paperback. It's like as big as those $10 books. Phil's always fine. So anyway, what else is there, Philip?
No, I think
Anything
we're
you want to
good.
talk
We're
about?
close.
We're good. We covered a lot here. Farm some moisture, and don't be a space wizard.
Howard the
That's my
Duck,
advice
John
to the world.
Walker.
Yeah, we got them all in there. Okay. So, Philip, in the meantime, if they would like to reach out to you and touch you and talk to you and, buy a book or something,
if you want to get a hold of me, you can always email me, nightwingpdp@gmail.com. On Twitter, I am at nightwingpdp. And you can always get a hold of us at the Capes and Lunatics at capesandlunatics@gmail.com. The voicemail, 614-382-2737. That's 614-38-CAPES. And again, support sponsors, Tweaked Audio, Hunt a Killer, Pod Life the book, in digital and paperback. And check out the Southgate Media Group link to Amazon.com. Send the company a few cents to bring you such fine programming as Super Connectivity.
Ooh. And of course, if you'd like to write to me that old-fashioned email way the way our mothers and fathers once did many years ago, do so at superconnectivityblog@gmail.com. That's superconnectivityblog, all one word, @gmail.com. Of course, follow me on Twitter. Say like with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. It's coming back. It's the last broadcast show ever. And maybe the final episode of The Good Place, if I remember it. At Charlie Esser, the CHARLIESSER. Look for the two E's in the middle. There you go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you once again for joining us here on Super Connectivity. Why don't you come on back and super connect with us again? Good night. Just out of curiosity, Phil, when I fart, did you hear that?
Oh, it's going to be the new conspiracy theory. I'm going to be listening to you now, see if they can hear your fart.
No, well, you can see it in my face, but if you're watching the video feed, you get an extra
face or a sexy
even when I fart, I'm sexy. So.
Apple juice be flowing.
Absolutely.